McField, Mack Truck,
There you go.
kind of goes. But anyway, this season personally for the 2013-2014 season, just bring as many people as you can to this game, guys. Like I said, we are playing Colton County. They've had a kind of a few down seasons, but who knows? Maybe this game was a boost to them. To say that they can score points. As always, we would like to have all the fans in the stadium, cheering our boys in black on, and that's pretty much all about that game.
I'll tell you something about Colton County. They have just like Terry said, they've had some rough seasons lately, but I'll tell you what, they're not afraid of being a powerhouse. When Terry and I played, they were a very tough out, and hopefully they can get stuff back together. And it seems like so far, they're on the right track. So we got to have our helmets on the swivel and get ready for the game this Friday with them. So we can't take them lightly.
Touche, cliche. Okay, here we go. All right, this portion of the show is brought to you by Dragonfly Creations. For all your custom embroidery needs and festive wreaths, call 843-991-2773 and ask to talk to Pam to set up wherever needs you need for anything by Dragonfly Creations. Again, the number is 843-991-2773 for all your festive needs. All right, we're going to get back to the scoring drives. And I got down here a little note for Goose Creek 56, Ashley Ridge 28. The scoring drives went as such. The first quarter, we had Caleb Kinlaw running a 70-yard. The kick failed. That's the one I said I thought we made it. Kinlaw looked pretty good running the ball. He had a couple of good drives in there.
He was strong. He was strong. He was cutting. He was playing. For the first game, Caleb was running hard.
Yeah, and the boys are in good condition because the defense was flying all over the field. They were doing what they had to do. From what I saw, I'm not a pro or nothing like that, but they look good. Considering.
I'll tell you what, I will give credit to Asher Ridge. Number 14 is a real athletic player on their team, and he was to run up and down the field against Goose Creek. That's very, very hard to do, and he did. And they were, he was a very, very strong player. So we'll see what happens with them, and hopefully they have good luck through the rest of the season. We'll see.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of folks right now, and mark my words saying this for being the first game of the season. There's going to be a lot of folks out there in different teams going to be surprised when they play Ashley Ridge. Because Ashley Ridge ain't no lay-down team. Even though the score don't reflect the way they played, because they played lights out. They actually, played hard-nosed football. They didn't fold up. They didn't give up.
Not fold up.
They kept playing. And there's going to be a lot of teams out there that, and putting 28 points on us, that says a lot, okay? Not that that's taken away from our defense, but those boys were playing. They didn't stop. They didn't give up. Even though, most people will say, they fell back on their heels, but they didn't. They stayed up there the whole game. And that was impressive enough for me to even say what I just said. So anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, the next game we're going back to talking about as far as scoring for us again. We had Jordan Barnes. He ran up a 2-point conversion. Kinlaw ran for 127 yards and 4 TDs. McField ran for 110, 1 TD. McNeil ran for 1 TD. McCray run a TD back on the kickoff return. And then we had Tyreek Johnson for another touchdown. So that was pretty much all the scorings we had. Ashley Ridge had 2 run backs on kickoffs.
There was a lot of special teams touchdowns in that game. Yeah. Which is kind of unusual, but it just it happened the way it was, and we're definitely going to have to do some work on special teams a little bit on the kickoff because we can't have not even 1, but yet 2 touchdowns on kick returns. So we'll have to definitely work on that as the season progresses.
Oh, yeah, you're right, and I guarantee you, I'm sure the coaches already know that, and they're already taking steps to correcting it. Not that I'm guessing anything they do because they do a hell of a job doing what they're doing. And them boys, like I said, most of them are new to the Goose Creek kind of ball and moved up from JV. So
yeah.
They'll handle it, and we'll be all right. They'll get their game plan together.
Well, it's a little bit of adjustment to move up to the big boy level, and it's kind of overwhelming until you get used to it. And but I think as far as the first game is, we scored 56, and people were saying that we didn't play that well, and I agree a little bit, but that just shows how good our program is when you score 56 points and you don't think that you played a really good game. But again, first game, got 12 more, or 10 more to go.
10 more to go to the season. And I got it here in my notes. I said you got to give it, to the coaches for coming up with the necessary adjustments in the halftime, to get the victory. And I mean, it was a close game in the first two quarters, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I mean, when's the last time you saw us 14-7 at halftime? I mean,
that was last year. I saw it happen when we had Caleb Kinlaw out and Tremel Terry was out at the same time.
Right.
When we played Carolina Forest, but they made the adjustments, did what they had to do at halftime, got the game, got the kids fired up. And they come out and got the victory, and that's pretty much, because we, as you played like I did, 2 quarters, wow, you beat us 2 quarters, what can you do in 4,
Right.
That's what it's all about, what the final score is, not the first 2 quarters.
You play to the last whistle.
Yeah, and like I said, another note I got here, hats off to the defensive coaching and the line, the backs for holding Ash Ridge to only 2 yards total offense in the third quarter, and then boys was flying around the ball, even though we graduated Mike Myers, Gerald Turner, Jalen Stevens, and a couple other folks I can't remember all at one time. I got to say we're still looking good. The future's looking bright. These guys, they can only improve, and that's a good thing. And that's got to be the bright thing I take out of this whole game. Besides the score being 56 to whatever it was,
28.
Yeah, 56-28. I mean, we won, and all I can say is we can improve. And there's always room for improvement no matter what we do. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And but I mean, I did see a lot of promise. Again, just like Terry said, we did lose a lot of really good players on the defensive side, and we will continue to grow. But we're doing a new crop of defensive players. But I thought in the Ashley Ridge game that once they settled down, they played fine. We will see what happens throughout the season.
Yeah, like I said, they're just going to improve. They did good. I mean, the coaches, like I said, made the necessary adjustments to get everything back and clicking. So anyway, they just come out flat because they were nervous, I'm supposing. But Goose Creek football was played in the second half. And
they also started the game on a road trip. Yeah. So that's you come into a different environment.
Yeah. But they did a good job overall, and I'm impressed with the way we handled the game in the second half. And, all your games, pretty much they always say, what can you do for me in the fourth quarter? And that's what we did. We come out and played, and we scored 41-something points in the second half, and that put the game away. So, anyway, moving on. We got some big surprises to go over here with, games around the area, Low Country area. First one. All right, we got Wando goes down to Buford. We touched on this a minute ago.
A big surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge matchup last season over in Mount Pleasant with the Warriors undefeated, and then Goose Creek coming in their house. And I don't know if you guys ever been to Wando, but that's a pretty tough place to play.
Yeah.
And we came out there and handled our business very handily.
Yeah. But anyway.
Anyway,
the score was 17-10, or 17. Hold on a second. It doesn't matter. They lost. I mean, I'm not keeping up with Wando, but anyway.
It was a big surprise to see that Buford upset Wando. I guess you might not think it would be an upset, but Buford's generally a very good team, and maybe they're getting back on the tracks. For them to come out and beat Wando was a little surprising.
Yeah. Next game we got Bluffton. All right, this is the team we played in the playoffs last year. They obviously had a bunch of senior talent on that team. They kind of lost to South Effingham, Georgia. They lost 23-20. Not much thoughts in this game for me. I'm just I'm surprised they lost to them, but it happens, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you about Bluffton. I mean, that's the game that was a playoff game that last year when we went to all of us went to court for the
South Carolina High School League thing.
Yes.
Overruling. Yeah, that's all under the bridge. This year's a whole new list.
But we came out and played them, and Bluffton's got generally known for a good program, and we'll see what happens with the with Bluffton.
Yeah, Bluffton's going to be kind of shocking. I guess they really did graduate a lot of folks on that team. Like I said, they can only we can only watch and see what happens with them. They were picked to be good in the Region 8, so, but I'm sure Somerville's kind of happy that happened. All right, next big surprise here, and this really did surprise me to hear this, but I'm not really surprised too bad, is Hanahan beats Timberland, and they beat them handily. I mean, they beat them 41-0. And anyway,
It was Timberland too.
it doesn't matter what ranking.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, that's a big surprise. Terry and I both played with Charlie Patterson, who was the athletic director at Hanahan. Now he's just back to being a head football coach, but he coached us at Goose Creek, and he's definitely turned that program around at Hanahan. And for them to beat Timberland, which is definitely a 2A powerhouse, and to beat them in the way that they did was very impressive.
Yeah, 41-0. I mean, that's shut down, shut out, throw them out the window. That's what happened
that's
there.
it.
But congratulations to Hanahan, congratulations to Beaufort, and also congratulations to South Effingham for playing a good game.
And congratulations to Coach Patterson.
Yeah. And another thing that we got going on here as far as region standings, we're going to go a little bit over Region 8 because we still have a couple minutes left here. Of course, we already went to Bluffton, Beaufort. Fort Dorchester beating Carolina Fort 62-14. And offensive display from Fort Dorchester. They looked unstoppable against Carolina Forest, but I don't know if that just shows how good Fort Dorchester is, or how Carolina Forest is lacking. From what a lot of people I saw posting on the board for Palmetto Football Talk were saying that it looked like a soccer game. The Carolina Forest guys would just watch the ball go right by them. I don't know if that's a measuring stick for Fort Dorchester, which I really can't say because we haven't played either one of them. But next week, Fort Dorchester will be playing at Cane Bay, which we saw play against Somerville. So I mean, it's not really a measuring stick there yet either. So.
Steve LaPrade has got a good program going over there in at Fort Dorchester, and they always play us. They always play Goose Creek tough, and we'll see. I mean, again, it's just week 1, so it's tough to weigh anything on the first week of the football season. But Fort Dorchester generally is a very strong football team, and it's not a big surprise they won their first game.
Yeah, and a lot of people. I mean, for Carolina Forest, when they were having them in the stands, they said they were cheering on one side, and all I heard was this on the other side, crickets. And it was pretty awful, man. I felt bad for Carolina Forest just for the fact that they showed up to play, but they just got overtaken by a bigger and more powerful school. But anyway.
Well, I mean, they're coming down and they're playing low country football, and it's not easy to play down here because generally it's the upstate that everybody thinks is the best football in South Carolina. But I'm telling you, things have turned around, and there's a lot of good teams down here.
All right, well, next one we got is Somerville. Somerville's going in at Berkeley this week. Stratford beat Berkeley, and we beat Berkeley.
Yeah.
Somerville, they always give Somerville a good game. So that's just to be seen because it's at Berkeley. Somerville's going to be traveling down there. On to the next one, we got Ashley Ridge. They lost to us, of course, but next week they play against Wando at Wando. So that should be a good measuring stick for Wando and Ashley Ridge, just by going there and see what they can do against Wando at their house.
Well, I'd like to see what happens with Wando coming off of a loss that they probably didn't expect to have. And going back to the Berkeley, their schedule coming out is just brutal. I mean, they're playing really, really good, powerful programs. So for the Stags, if you're a Stags fan, you just got to hang your head in there and learn to play big boy football.
Yeah, they'll be back soon enough. I mean,
I think they will.
I think next year they're planning on moving up to 4A, but I mean that hasn't been determined yet. But I've seen a lot of talk about it in Berkeley Independent and such like that. So
Yeah, we'll see.
but another good surprising game coming up this week is us against Collin County. That's going to be like